The car collectors said I was just at the show for Instagram. They didn't know I was about to save them all from a scam. I'd been working on cars with my dad since I could hold a wrench, so when I showed up at the Monterey Classic Car Auction to check out a 67 Shelby GT 500, I knew exactly what I was looking for. I hadn't expected to be the only person there under 50, and one of precious few women, but I didn't really care. I was there for the cars, not the people. The owner, an older guy in a blazer who kept calling everyone sport, noticed me examining the engine bay and immediately stepped between me and the car. "Sweetheart, this isn't a Honda Civic at the local car meet," he said loud enough for the crowd to hear. "This is a $2 million piece of history, not something for you to practice your Instagram poses on." When I tried to explain I was genuinely interested in the car, he laughed and asked if my boyfriend had sent me over to take pictures while he found a bathroom. Another collector joined him and looked at me like I was something he scraped off his shoe. "Used to be you needed credentials and respect for automotive history to be here," he said while physically blocking me from getting closer to the car. "Now we have girls who think they belong with serious collectors just because they saw a pretty car and wanted a selfie with it." The owner grabbed my wrist when I reached toward the fender, squeezing hard enough to hurt while examining my hands with theatrical revulsion. "Look at these filthy fingers," he announced to the growing crowd. "This is what happens when girls try to look tough and edgy for social media." She probably rubbed dirt on her hands in the parking lot thinking it would make her look authentic. He pulled out a handkerchief and wiped his hand where he'd touched me, like I'd contaminated him. I pulled my wrist away and tried to step around to the other side of the car so hopefully these guys would leave me alone. But then a third man started taking photos of me, saying he was documenting what was wrong with modern car culture for his blog about keeping the hobby pure. "Girls like this show up thinking they're equals because they watched Fast and Furious," he said while circling me with his camera. "They touch everything with their dirty hands, leaving fingerprints on paint jobs worth more than their parents' house, thinking a cute outfit makes them part of car culture." Finally, I got away and went to look another car there. There was another guy there who I thought was okay, who made pleasant conversation with me at first until we opened the car. Then he pointed to the engine and said, "See, sweetie, this makes the car go vroom vroom," he said while the crowd laughed. "Your little Toyota probably has 4 cylinders, but this big boy has 8. That means it's twice as powerful, though I'm sure math isn't your strong suit." When I tried to mention I'd worked on similar cars, he asked sarcastically if I meant in a video game with my boyfriend. He turned to the crowd and started a speech about how women in automotive spaces always exaggerated their knowledge to impress men. He started quizzing me on basic car facts, but when I refused to play along, he started laughing. One man pulled out his phone and made me watch while he Googled simple car facts for beginners, reading each result out loud while asking if I was taking notes. "Maybe if you study hard enough, in 10 or 15 years, you'll understand half of what we're discussing," he said, "though by then, you'll probably have moved on to whatever trend girls are following next." The owner decided I needed a demonstration of how real collectors examined cars, pressing his ear against the hood and claiming he could hear the authenticity in the metal's resonance. "You need decades of experience to develop this sensitivity," he said, forcing me to put my ear against the hot metal while he laughed. "Hear that? Of course you don't. Your generation thinks everything can be learned from YouTube tutorials." One of them actually grabbed my phone from my back pocket, saying he wanted to see what kind of car content I followed to get such delusions about belonging here. He scrolled through my photos, stopping at one of me under a car on a lift. "Look at this staged nonsense," he announced, showing everyone. She probably paid someone to take this photo so she could pretend she knows what a differential is. But I'd been studying the car I came for throughout their harassment, and everything about it screamed fake. The VIN plate had been stamped with the wrong machine, the rivets were modern reproductions, and most damning of all, the serial number they were claiming belonged to a car that I knew for a fact had been destroyed in a racing accident because I'd authenticated the insurance claim myself. Just then, an older man pushed through the crowd asking what the commotion was about, and the owner's face lit up with recognition. "Perfect timing. You're the authentication expert from Barrett Jackson, right?" he said, puffing out his chest. "You can explain to this Instagram wannabe why she needs to stop contaminating our cars with her ignorance." The authentication expert looked at me and his eyes went wide, then he looked at the car, then back at me with growing alarm. "Wait, you're letting her inspect this car?" he asked the owner, his voice tight with something between panic and disbelief. "Letting her?" The owner laughed. "I've been trying to get her away from it. This child thinks because she posed with a Mustang once she understands Shelby's." The expert's face went completely pale as he stared at me, then whispered, "That's not just some girl. That's the one who exposed the entire Branson collection as counterfeit last year." Full story on the channel below.